My next guest has got a huge fight coming up here against Chris Weidman, UFC 309, November 16th. Doesn't get much bigger than this. It is your boy, Eryk Anders, joining me here on the program. Eryk, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome. And yourself?
I'm doing awesome too, but not as good as you, man. Tell me how surprised you were that you got this fight. Not every day you get to fight a legend like Chris Weidman.
Yeah, I was just kind of sitting around and just like every other, fight news that comes through, I'm just, kind of minding my own business. And I get a text from my manager, Jason House, and he's like, yo, you want to fight Weidman at Madison Square? And I was like, I mean, just those two things alone, if either one of them, Weidman or MSG, I'm jumping on that. But, the combination of the both, of the two of them, and John Jones is coming back. So I know this card is going to have a lot of hype. So, I mean, there's only one answer.
And plenty of notice too, right? Like I know a lot of your opportunities in the UFC have been short notice. So do you feel like this is the universe kind of rewarding you for everything? Because this is a really good opportunity for you here.
Yeah, it was perfect. I'm coming off of surgery, had my elbow fixed, and some other things. So, I really haven't done anything for since my last fight. So, I really needed the extra time to get in shape, get prepared, get my timing back and things like that. So, I'll be ready and good to go by the November 16th.
I mentioned the universe is working out in your favor, and I think it could have something to do with this tweet, Eryk. I was telling you off air, and even before we set up this interview, I was pretty inspired reading that. So I'm going to read the tweet here if people haven't seen it. A year ago yesterday, I stopped abusing drugs. I got custody of my son, won fights, bought houses, cut all the crazy people out of my life, and had the biggest year of personal growth, more focused than ever, and I have the biggest fight of my career coming up November 1st. I'm proud of me. I didn't even know about any of this. I mean, we've been doing interviews for a while and all that. I guess my first question is how did you get through it, man? Was it just your support system? It seems like you went through a lot and you came out on the other side even better.
To be honest, I kind of just stopped lying to myself because I was pretty high functioning. I could go out till, 5, 6 in the morning, sleep for 30 minutes, get up, do everything I needed to do, go train, never miss training, was never late to training. But I just kind of sat back and was like, why am I losing these close fights? What is what's going on? Like the Iron Turtle, Machida, and a few other fights like Christoph Jocko that I'm losing by, just the skin of my teeth. And what is the disconnect? And then, so you sit back and he's like, okay, yeah, you can make it to practice, you can make it to training, you're doing but what is the quality of your training?
Mm-hmm.
You can really take it to another level. So I just, and then I had a court date coming up with my son. So that was really the X factor because I wanted to get clean because I knew we would be drug tested. And then, the court date just kept getting pushed back further and further back. And next thing you know, it was like a year. Then we went to court, I didn't have anything in my system. She did, so I got awarded custody. And now it's like, I don't want to fumble that. So, it's like a no-brainer. It's pretty easy, when you have, like the custody of your son. And then, I just feel better. Like my head is clear. Like it's just everything's so much better. And I don't know if it's like the universe rewarding me or just me just kind of like turning over all the stones that I was walking over to, have all the turmoil in my life,
So first thing you said there, which kind of surprised me. So you're referencing fights, like you referenced Machida. It's been going on basically your whole UFC career, all this activity?
Dude, I've been doing this since I was like 13.
Wow. Okay. So even during your football career and everything too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially,
Okay.
I had even failed the drug test at, when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And they put me in like drug classes and drug education and continuing care classes and things like that. But again, even when Nick Saban came, he was like, yo, you failed this drug test. And I was like, oh, I don't have a problem. I just, was just hanging out with some friends and, took a little of this, smoked a little bit of that,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I'm sure he's heard that a million times. And like I said, I just lied to myself, and then I could, I could quit for, 6 months at a time or 3 months at a time or whatever. And then, but at the end of the day, I'd pick it back up. So it's like, I would just lie to myself and say, oh, I can stop whenever, I can quit whenever. But then, however long ago, like I'll pick it back up. So, I just kind of made a conscious decision to, put it all down and, I don't do anything. I hardly even drink.
Good. Okay, that's crazy. And then I guess the obvious question too: how did you get past the UFC drug test? Like, don't they test for everything? Because I know like John Jones has gotten busted for cocaine.
Well, I'm not doing it the week of the fight,
Right.
but
But don't
after the
they? But they
fight,
do it randomly though, right? Were you ever worried about that they would
well,
catch you in a test or anything?
nah, because they don't really test for street drugs and party
Okay, I
drugs
thought they did for some reason. Okay,
and
yeah, you
things
know
like
better than
that.
me. Obviously, I'm not getting piss tested.
Only during what do you call it? Like what they call it in competition, which is basically the night of the fight and
Okay.
the day, like an hour after the competition. So they pulled up to me and I, to a hotel that I was in or where I was training or something. I had been smoking and partying and whatever, and it'd be right there on the table,
Mhm.
and they didn't say anything. They could for sure smell it, and I know that they saw it, but I'm sure you could have even dried, some of my urine out and smoked the residue out of there, So I was just doing a lot of stuff, pills, coke, you name it. I was doing it outside of like heroin. I wasn't doing like heroin or crack or nothing like that, but just about everything else. And it really did make a big difference, I think, in training. And then when it comes down to like it's time to push at the end of a fight or in a tough spot in a fight, you don't have that in there. You don't have it in the tank because of what you did, leading up to the fight. So I'm feeling really good about this one coming up.
And you also mentioned, I remember this a while ago. Did you not? You've done ayahuasca too, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot
So
of stuff.
isn't that supposed to help with getting off drugs? So it didn't have that effect on you?
Um, yeah, but I think like just like no one ever knew that I was going hard like that. I just if I can lie to myself, I can lie to you, I can lie to whatever. And I'm not talking about like lying, but just kind of like lying to yourself about like the problem and
Yeah.
the issue. Weed was really the only thing that I couldn't stomach after I did DMT and ayahuasca. But everything else was a green light.
What's been the feedback like since you put that tweet out there? Because I'm sure there's got to be other fighters that are dealing with this too. And did you get a lot of people kind of reaching out and saying, "Hey, man, how did you do it?"
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because that's not even like why I didn't do it for like attention or
Oh
nothing
no,
like
no, of
that.
course
Just
not. No. I think it's good to
just
acknowledge, just inspiring other people, right?
yeah. Well, I was just kind of celebrating me
Mm-hmm.
and like the decision that I made. But yeah, a lot of people have like hit me up and how and why and kind of the same conversation that we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also that just kind of adds another layer to the whole staying clean thing because if I can help somebody else out through their whatever they got going on, that it makes me feel good too, and it's a reward for me as well. So yeah, if anybody needs help with that, I'll listen and try to help people out and stuff. And I think another thing is I stopped hanging out with people who were doing those things. And, I would show up and be like, nah, I don't want to do that, and then they kind of keep throwing it in my face and be like, nah. And then you kind of realize, once I stopped doing it, I had a lot less friends. You know what I mean? So, you know, um, I just, kind of goes to show you who's like a real friend and like who's just hanging around because, y'all like to party and,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. So, I'm basically just at the gym. I come home, I hang out with my kid, take him and do everything he needs to do, go to his football games and stuff. And to be honest, it's the happiest I've been in, a really long time.
And then just my last one on this. You talked about getting custody of your son. I believe you had a son from a previous relationship. Is this the younger son or is this the oldest son that you were talking about?
No, this is my biological son.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I got him, I think, in March. So I fought in March,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went like at the end of March, and then I've had him since. So, that's also like another like huge reason to, stay clean because he wasn't in like a good, situation with his mom. But, over here, everything's like peaceful. There's
Okay.
no
Yeah.
turmoil. It's all good over here. It's me, my kid, and my dog. And then I
Okay.
got a stepson too who still comes over and um, you know, and that was, that's obviously through my ex-wife, but he comes over and we're just like, everything's cool over here. You know what I mean?
Good. Awesome. Well, glad to see you made out of it. And like I said, you get this big fight against Weidman. Just thoughts about facing Weidman. I mean, it's not the old Weidman. It's not the Weidman that, finished Anderson Silva, but we did see him get a win in his last fight. I know there's a bit of controversy there with the eye pokes and stuff. Just how are you looking at this fight with your skill set and Weidman's?
I'm approaching it just as it is, the Weidman that's, beat Anderson Silva, obviously with his leg, and, he's up there in age. So, obviously he's not, but like, I'm taking this fight very seriously, training every day, 2-3 times a day. This would be a huge feather in my cap. A former champion, I kind of fumbled the bag against Machida. Again, a super close fight. So, I'm not trying to have no more close fights. I'm trying to go out there, get finishes, and, collect performance bonuses.
Any concerns after seeing that Bruno Silva fight about the eye pokes in the matchup at all? Is that something you're even thinking of?
I mean, not really, and I really, I watched the fight live, so I do remember the eye pokes, but I don't remember like how the fight actually went. And I remember seeing him with his eyes shut. Bruno obviously did some work in there as well. So I think he's a little bit more hittable than he used to, but I think, Weidman, he's always been ultra aggressive, always moving forward, as am I. So I think if you're a fan, this is a fun fight for you to watch because, this is what do they say? An unstoppable force meets an immovable object or whatever. So This is gonna be like a head-on collision, from start to finish. And I know he's ready for that. He's built for that. He likes that, as do I. So, I think this has fight of the night potential.
Training camp, is it all back home in Alabama at Spartan, or where are you training? Because I know you have done some cross training in the past. You've been at a bunch of different gyms over the years, but is it everything at home base this time?
Yeah, I'm here in Birmingham. My life is a little bit more controlled here. And then obviously, I have custody of my kids, so like it's hard to I can't just bounce for like 2 months at a time. It's just me here.
Yeah.
So, and that's cool because, I got friends who train, high level training partners that are going to come in. Austin Clayton training down there at Killcliff. And then Ray Waters is going to come through from Fight Ready. So, there's guys here that are on their way, that are making it, that are still young in their career. But those two guys, both wrestled at Arizona State, so they can give me that wrestling look and, that aggressive, that forward pressure that Weidman's going to bring to me. So I'm looking forward to getting them down here, getting training, and looking forward to November 16th.
How's the gym looking now? Because I remember when you started there, you were the sort of the rookie, the up and comer, and now you're the veteran at the gym. I remember back in the day, it was like you and Walt Harris and Omar Johnson and these names. And now I'm sure like you're sort of the leader now at the gym. How's that been? Just being, kind of like like the veteran, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm getting up there, man. You see all the grays up there.
We both are. Don't worry about it. We both are.
No, it's cool to like make that transition. I'm gonna fight 3 more times, retire. So I really do try to like pour a lot of my experience in training, not only like training in the like training other places and like how fights go, and we got up and comers like Tyler Stevens. You'll be seeing him sooner or later. Anna Crutchfield, she's got a big fight for Fury, September 22nd. And then, I think that fight will really put her on the map and show the world who she is. So, there's a few people who come. Quadarius McGinnis, a huge welterweight. One of my main training partners when I'm, don't have a fight coming up, because, I try to bring other guys in. They just have different skill sets, for the opponent that I'm fighting. So, man, these are 3 names off the top of my head that, I truly believe can make it, and you guys will see, and you'll be talking to them soon.
Love it. Love hearing about the up and comers. How about the weight? I'm sure not, dealing with all this other stuff you had going on. It's probably easier to cut weight now, probably eating better and trying to think more clearly, right?
Yeah, I'm probably like 225 right now.
Okay,
but like
gotcha.
I said,
So we got a bit of weight to cut. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not out of the norm. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was kind of stagnant for like 3 or 4 months. So I was a little bit heavier than that, but it's coming off, it's coming down. I'm getting lean and fit. So like I said, I think the fight is still like 10 weeks away, 12 weeks away, something like that. So you know, I'll definitely be ready November 16th.
Your corner, what's that going to look like for this fight? Who's going to be in the cage with you?
Chris Conley's always going to be there.
Nice.
He's my head coach.
Yep.
And I'll have, probably Ray and Austin in the corner or one of the two, but, we'll just see how it all shakes out and who can make it, who can't, and, that kind of thing. So, yeah, looking forward to getting those two guys up here to get training, and, I'll be better than ever. You'll see the best version of me at Madison Square Garden.
How do you see this fight playing out on November 16th? How do you see it going down?
Like I said, I think we're going to meet in the middle. I don't think that Weidman has the chin that he used to. So I definitely see myself getting a finish. I think he's kind of like just kind of like who he is as a person, like as a fighter. I think if he gets hit, he wants to get it back. I think I can wear it and take it a little bit better than he can. So, I just imagine that, we'll meet in the middle. Eventually technique will go out the window and we'll start slugging. I don't think it'll be like a Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway kind of thing or nothing like that, but I definitely see my hand getting raised.
Robert Whittaker is fighting Khamzat Chimaev. What do you think of that matchup, and who do you think wins? It's 5 rounds too.
I like Whittaker's chances past round 1. I think he's always comes in phenomenal shape, but I'm kind of, I wonder what his chin is like because du Plessis, pretty much knocked him out with a jab, and we know Chimaev, he's going to come in there, he's going to shoot off top, he's going to hit hard, and he's going to go hard and give him hell for 5 minutes, and then he'll slow down after that. So I think that Whittaker will be able to weather the storm, and he's got that blitzing style, so I think I'm gonna go with the vet. I'm gonna go with Whittaker.
And then a guy you fought, pretty big opportunity here, Khalil Rountree, going to be fighting Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title. What's your thoughts on that fight and how that one? I don't think that fight's going to the judges. We can at least predict that.
Nah. Someone finna get knocked out of the night with that one for sure. Dude, I think that the Rountree really turned the corner after he fought. I remember when I was fighting Rountree, I was like, he just really, when I was getting ready to fight him, he just didn't seem so aggressive as he is now. And I remember thinking, it's like, well, if he hits me, like everybody that he dropped, he didn't knock him out. He just, put him on the ground. So I was like, I think even if he does catch me, and he did several times, and I was right, he put me on the ground and then never finished me. But Pereira is like, if he touches you, dude, that's a wrap, So I guess they both have a puncher's chance, Alex Pereira, like he's got the reach, but he don't use the reach, and I think that could be a problem for him against a guy like Rountree, and he's left-handed too, Rountree, so his stance is backwards. Which I know Pereira switches stances and stuff, but we all know it's his left hook that is the bomb. So, I think Pereira would probably get it done actually. But Rountree, dude, I'm telling you, dude, if he get it, he's gonna swarm him if he puts him on the ground. So I'm excited to see that matchup.
You sort of talked about it there. 3 fights, you think? So that's including this one, I'm assuming. 3 fights, and you think you're done with MMA. Is that sort of your plan?
That's it.
And is it? I know you've been successful with real estate and stuff. Is the plan after this to do maybe like coaching and real estate, or what's sort of the plan? Have you thought sort of post career?
Yeah, I'll always have my hands in multiple things. Like I manage fighters. I do the real estate thing.
Do you manage fighters? How long have you been doing that?
I don't know, probably a year and a half, 2 years,
no way.
I think.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's I got some diamonds in there, I think. What do you call it? Real estate. I plan on opening my own gym. Just before I got on the phone with you, I was doing the stuff to get my real estate license, so I can just buy and sell them for myself and pay myself instead of
awesome
somebody else. Yeah, and then we'll see what else comes along that I'll jump onto.
Good for you. Is there any, like, looking at the roster, is there any fights you want to have before, you call, obviously Weidman's the focus, but have you sort of thought about, there's a couple opponents I'd love to fight before I call it a career? Because there would be 2 left after this, right?
Yeah. I kind of jokingly talked with Brendan Allen about, he was my last fight before the UFC,
Yeah,
and
and you beat
just
him.
that thought it would be funny to, not really funny, but like just ironic to have him be my last fight in the UFC. So I don't know though, I really don't care to be honest.
Okay.
I'm just out here trying to, get wins, get all my money, and bounce. Slide on out, real smooth like.
Smart. It's not a long career. Although you have had a very long career in the UFC, which has been impressive. Just 2 more quick things. Obviously the division. We still have the champ, Dricus du Plessis. What did you think of his win over Adesanya about a month ago? That was pretty impressive. First guy to submit Israel Adesanya in MMA.
Yeah, I think he's a big, strong guy. I think his awkwardness is his strength. He kind of runs at you. I thought that it would kind of be like the Anderson Silva Forrest Griffin kind of thing. He would get frustrated and kind of like run it on Adesanya, and Adesanya would, hit him, kind of, and that's how the fight would go until, Adesanya got the finish, but that's not how it went, So he seems to be a big problem for everybody that he's fought. He's finished everybody, I think, except for maybe one person.
Who, DDP or Adesanya?
Du Plessis.
Oh, I think he's had a few well, actually, yeah, Brad Tavares, I know he went the distance. I think Till, he might have gone the distance with him too. Or no, he finished Till. Never mind.
No, he submitted.
Yeah, you're right. He did submit Till. I think it was just later. That's why I was thinking of it.
I didn't even know that he fought Brad Tavares. Anyways, yeah, the guy finishes people, and I think his awkwardness is his best. And he's the champ, and he finished the former champ, and who arguably people think is one of the best middleweights of all time. So, give that man his roses.
Yeah, and actually I just went back and looked. So yeah, Tavares was his only decision. Every other opponent he's finished except Sean Strickland. That was also a decision. That was a close fight, if you remember.
Yeah. That's who I was thinking of, was Sean Strickland.
Which leads me to my next question. Do you think it should be Strickland next to get that rematch, or do you think maybe the winner of Chimaev and Whittaker?
I mean, Sean Strickland's done work, dude. He's put in the work. He just beat Paulo Costa. So yeah, give that man another. And his fight was like, I thought that Sean Strickland had won that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I'm not a judge, so it doesn't matter what I think. So yeah, give that man another shot. And then, Chimaev, he's only fought like once or twice at middleweight. So, obviously they're gonna go with the guy who's gonna put butts in seats and have people buy pay-per-views and stuff like that. And Whittaker and Chimaev do that. So, whatever, they can fight after Strickland.
There you go. Eryk, thanks for doing this. Again, congrats on all your success outside the cage especially. It's been great. It's UFC 309, November 16th. We got a lot of time here. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, or any other things you got going on, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, just everybody who participates in helping me not only be a better fighter, but a better person, because, it's easy to kind of slide off into into a bar and party, everybody who doesn't like to do that, So, everybody who's holding me accountable and things like that, there's just too many people to thank, name by name. But, yeah, there's a lot of people behind the scenes, So, and everybody obviously who participates and helps me get ready for fights and camps and things like that, and coaches and things like that. So, yeah, there's a lot of people.